What's up, basketball lovers? It's Gabe
and Elijah
with Bio Basketball, and today we're going to be talking about LeVar Ball and the Ball family and how they've basically taken over the basketball world. I don't think LeVar needs any introduction, but for those of you who are new to his antics, he was basically just a guy who's been working hard. He is actually a talented athlete, or was a talented athlete, and that's why you can see he has 3 talented sons, but he's also had a negative effect on them and possibly dragging them down. He has a pretty long history. He played for Long Beach City Semi-College, and he was a tight end. He also was on the practice squad for the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers. One thing he, I guess, definitely believes in is so-called speaking things into existence, and we're going to give you, I guess, a pretty long history of his life. For me, anyway, I know the Ball brothers came on the scene pretty quickly. It wasn't like a slow rise. They basically busted onto the scene, largely in part to LeVar's large mouth. He's able to talk and promote his sons, and that's why all 3 of them at Chino Hills had 2 or 3 terrific years together, and all of them were at the top of the scene. The early hype definitely allowed Lonzo, Melo, and Jello to all get offers to UCLA, but as we talk later, we're going to see that 2 of them did not attend the college due to other reasons. But Lonzo had a decent career there at UCLA, and here are his stats.
At UCLA, Lonzo shot 73% from 2-pointers, 41% on 3-pointers, and 1.8 free throws made, and he attempted 2.7, which was 67%.
So as you guys see, Lonzo is not necessarily the best shooter, but if you look at the highlights, he had a really good year there. But again, LeVar was criticizing his teammates, and he guaranteed that they were going to win the national championship, but didn't happen. Another thing you're going to learn about LeVar is he definitely knows how to switch his words up to the media and try and get his way. So as Lonzo got to the NBA, you'll see that he did not have the greatest season, but I don't like when people call him a bust, because if you compare his stats to other NBA players such as Jason Kidd and Steve Nash, their rookie years, it matches up pretty decently. So the fact that people automatically want to hate on him is largely, again, in part to LeVar's mouth, and he has so much hype that it's unfair given from his dad. The second Ball brother is LiAngelo Ball, and he was also set to attend UCLA, but due to the incident I'm pretty sure all of you guys have heard of in China, LeVar basically took him out. And another thing you'll see about LeVar Ball is, unfortunately, I wouldn't like to say he controls his kids, because honestly, he's a man about his business, and he's definitely a dominant figure and an alpha male, especially in his mind. So when Jello committed the crime of stealing in China, I wouldn't say forced Jello to leave UCLA, but it definitely wasn't the smartest move, and I can't say whether or not they agreed with the move, but it didn't seem like they necessarily had a choice. So not only was Jello already underrated due to his play style, and for a while he was a little bit overweight, but LeVar was tangling with Donald Trump and basically the whole people in China. So that was a large incident, and it looked really bad for the Ball family. And LeVar is definitely about his kids. He defended Jello. But if I have to say one thing, is it was not a good look. And so here was Jello's stats at Lithuania, because he didn't end up playing at UCLA due to the incident, which is probably a large reason why he's not in the NBA right now.
In the LKL, LiAngelo Ball shot 34. He made 34 threes and attempted 82. This is 41% from 3. He also made 62 shots from the field, but he attempted 146, and this is 42%. And his free throw percentage, which is not that good, is 63%. So he probably needs to improve on that.
So as you guys can see, for a lot of people, that was actually a pretty big shocker that LiAngelo was faring better than LaMelo in the LKL league. But for me, LiAngelo was a bigger, developed body, and he's very talented. It's actually a mistake for many people to underrate him as a player who's not that good, because he has talent, but he may not have the same play style as the other 2 Ball brothers. So 41% from 3, I believe, and 42 from mid-range. he could up that a little bit from mid-range, but 41% from 3 is a terrific stat line. And again, if he didn't have all the noise and the detractors from LeVar Ball, this may not be an issue. But as you can see, he went undrafted, and right now he's playing in the JBA League, which is, you know, it's not the place he wanted to be. And again, with LeVar, he talked about how he's going to speak it into existence, and that no matter what, LiAngelo was going to be in the NBA. And also that if Magic Johnson did not allow this to happen, that Lonzo would be off the team. So we'll get to that later. But for me, even LiAngelo said that he would rather go to the D League or possibly overseas again rather than the JBA. But here he is again in a league that's not proven, and the talent there is just not so great. The other day he did put up some pretty big numbers, but that's not, you know, proving any scouts that he can play at the top of the game, because he has a decent post game, but that's not going to translate to the NBA. So his jump shot and his handle, especially his handle more so than anything else, would definitely have to get better. Even LaMelo, the third player, who was supposed to be going into his junior season of high school, that's just, he in my opinion, is ruining a potential star in many people's minds of having a career that could have been pretty impressive. Many people expected him to be better than the others. Right now, he looks to be struggling, and if you see his percentages, this is not what he would want to be shooting, nor NBA scouts would be looking for.
In the LKL, LaMelo Ball averaged 29.2% from 2-pointers, 25% from 3-pointers, and 73% from the free throw line, which is not a good stat line.
Yes, as Elijah just said, that's not a good stat line, especially against competition that's not great. He's not a great defender, and he's not very athletic. So those stat lines is not going to be able to work. And if he was playing against kids his own age, developing, who are talented, but, you know, also allowing him to develop and grow, I feel like he would fare better and scouts would give him more of a chance. This is not to say that he's not still young and that he can't develop, and I'm definitely not hating on him. I'm a pretty big fan. But it's not looking good in terms of where most people's paths go. And because of this, where they could have been high draft picks, they may have to take a different journey to the NBA if they get there at all. And that's up to scouts. But again, back to the point, LeVar Ball is a dominant figure, and he definitely wants the best for his sons. But you can see he's kind of dragging all three of them down, and especially Zoe right now, who is in the NBA. He come out and said before that if all three sons don't end up on the Lakers, Lonzo will leave to go play with his brothers. Now, I'm not in Lonzo's head, but Lonzo didn't say this himself. He's a grown man at this point, and I feel like he should be able to say what he wants and to talk to Magic behind the scenes or in public to set the record straight. Because at the end of the day, he has his own career. He worked there, and it's not fair to Lonzo. I'm sure that he loves his brothers, but at the end of the day, it's not fair to Lonzo to have to sacrifice his NBA career for his brothers. His brothers have to put in the work like he did, and Lonzo still has a lot of proving to do. LeVar leaked an injury basically to keep him on the Lakers supposedly, and that just shows you that they may believe that there is a threat that Lonzo may not be safe on the Lakers right now. They just acquired Rondo, and even though Magic Johnson said that Lonzo was their starting point guard, he just went under surgery recently to repair either ACL or MCL tear or some type of injury in his knee. So that just goes to show you that LeVar Ball has, in my opinion, not necessarily purposely, but dragged down his sons to a position that now they're in a dangerous spot, all three of them, where they may not want to be. And you can see that Lonzo never really loved the attention. Jello's still relatively quiet. But even Jello getting the tattoos, things like this, you can see that they may be crumbling under the pressure. And even LaMelo, who supposedly loves it, he's not playing well in the LKL league in the LKL league or the JBA league right now. Both of these, the statistics were not good. He was injured in Lithuania a lot, whether I wouldn't like to say it's fake. I believe he was hurt. But it's not fun getting beat up by grown men when you're 16, when you can be playing kids your own age who are just untalented, but they'll help you develop and to get better. So at the end of the day, LeVar may be making the biggest mistake of his life. And when you say live by the sword and die by the sword, right now I believe he may be dying by the sword. Because just the same reason that got them big could be the reason why they could end up suffering, and maybe not even the other two making it, and Lonzo having a career that he may not want to have. So we'll have to see. I wish the best for them. and I want to see what they're going to end up doing. But let's see what you guys have to think on LeVar and his kids and what will end up happening for their future. So we thank you for joining us again for Bio Basketball. Hit us up in the comments, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thanks.